three examples of raw diet that I would give a dog. And keep in mind that I usually use chicken as my general base for my whole raw diet. I do add beef, I do add pork, I do add other meats in the dog's diet, but this is with a caveat. If you add hamburger or ground turkey or anything like that, it doesn't have bone in it, so you have to add calcium. And if you're going to add calcium, use calcium without D3 in it. You can also use bone meal. Example of something that I would give Jane. It's approximately like the size of my hand. You know, it's in a bowl. My hand's closer to the camera, but it's about the size of my hand. It's a chicken back, and I'm going to add some oats to it, and we're just adding oats for, you know, Jane needs a little bit of fiber, so it's not much. That's about it. And then we'll just kind of coat the chicken, right? And then this might be a meal that I would give Jane. Now those are instant oats. You know, they're very instant. Get the kind that cook in 1 minute. Another example of something I might give Jane. Now this is a very small leg quarter. Look at how small that is. So I'm adding in a little bit of protein, right? That's some beef. And then there's some spinach. And this right here is just a piece of lard. That's a fat supplement. You also should add fish oil. You could just throw a few fish oil capsules in there and she'd probably just eat them. If you are gonna do just meat, you have to add calcium. I personally use calcium a lot of times. I just go to the pharmacy. You know, I need this for my Raven and my cat too. So I go to the pharmacy, I get regular old calcium, I add water, remember without D3, I add water and make it into a paste. And then I put it on the meat. You have to add calcium. If you don't, you're going to screw up the dog's calcium phosphorus level. This is very important. Remember that the bone in the chicken is just as important of a component as the protein and the fat. And remember, as far as the lard goes, dogs have no cholesterol problem. That's a problem that humans have. So you want to give them, at times you want to give your dog fat supplements. Hunting dogs especially, we use fat supplements in the winter because that's one of the ways that they get energy, from proteins and fats. Also, something else that's very important about your dog or cat is they need zero carbs. They're not like us. We need carbs. That's where we get the bulk of our energy. They don't. They get the bulk of their energy from proteins and fats. Your dog is completely different than you. So we'll add in fat. Here's another example of something I would give a dog Jane's size. And this is just a piece of meat, and this white stuff on here, that is calcium that I sort of make into a paste. I go to the pharmacy, I buy regular calcium without D3 in it. Make sure and get calcium without D3 in it. I add water and just turn it into a paste, and I put about, I don't know, on a piece of meat this size, about 800 milligrams of calcium, something like that. And about 4 blueberries, and then I'm just going to add a pinch of spinach. I mean, that's like a teaspoon. So that's pretty much it. That's a meal in itself. If you think that you're giving your dog raw diet, but you're giving your dog this raw diet pet food that you buy at the pet store, that's pet food. You should just go to the grocery store where you buy your food, and that's where you should buy your dog's food. One more important thing about this is that we're using raw chicken as a base. It's very important that you know that salmonella is not a problem for your dog. It isn't. That's a human health concern. It is, and that's why your vet will never recommend the raw diet, is because of that. It makes no sense. Bacteria is like probiotics for your dog. You build up the bacteria in your dog. It's good for your dog. My dogs can eat chicken that's sort of stinky, and that's a pretty much natural. And you know, they have a cast iron gut. That's how it is. There's no diarrhea. You have smaller stools. The problem with pet food really is the amount of fiber that they're putting in it. That's how they make money. That your dog and your cat do not need that amount of fiber. They're both carnivores. They need a little bit of fiber. Think of it like this. Say you have a German Shepherd. You know, it's about the size of like a small wolf. What size prey animal would a dog that size eat? Like a small rabbit. In the stomach contents of the rabbit, how much of that digested food that the rabbit was eating is your dog going to consume? Not much. That's the point. Bring the fiber content way down. You want a real low fiber profile. And the one thing that I want to say, and this is very important, listen up. Bone is part of your dog's diet, but cooked bone and cooked chicken bones are detrimental to your dog. Your dog should have absolutely no cooked bones of any kind. And they can eat fish, but this is with a caveat. Do not give them any type of salmon or anything like that. There's a thing called salmon poisoning disease, and it's very serious for dogs. So you do not give raw fish from the Pacific Ocean. It should be cooked, but you can use that at times to supplement the raw chicken-based diet. You can use salmon or mackerel. And remember, mackerel, canned mackerel, that has the bone in it still. So the dog is eating enough calcium when they eat that mackerel, or even canned salmon has the bone in it. See what I'm saying? Sardines, they can eat sardines too. But stay away from pet food. Pet food is causing a pandemic among our pets. It's horrible for your dog. I did it for years. I will never do it again.